Tired of open worlds where you spend 6 hours picking flowers instead of saving the world? Same. Today we're talking linear games, the ones that grab you by the face and say, no side quests, just vibes. These 20 gems will blow your mind, break your heart, and possibly make you cry in front of your cat. Let's dive into the chaos. Imagine being a retired god who just wants to chop wood, grow a beard, and yell at his son for breathing too loudly. That's Kratos now, but nope. Life says, let's go hiking through hell. God of War 2018 is like if Father of the Year met Mythology Mayhem, and it works beautifully. You'll spend the entire game swinging an axe that feels so good, it might replace your need for emotional support while navigating a surprisingly wholesome and angry father-son road trip. It's linear, it's cinematic, and it makes you cry and grunt in equal measure. Also, Atreus can't stop talking, ever. This game slaps harder than Kratos yelling, boy. Playing Black Myth Wukong is like if a Soulsborne game took a bath in Chinese mythology and came out jacked. You're a monkey warrior with a staff longer than your work week, smacking demons so hard they reevaluate their life choices mid-battle. The animations, slick. The bosses, nightmarish. The vibe, absolute ancient kung fu movie meets fever dream. It's linear in the sense that it guides you straight into a glorious beatdown, but that's the point. You're here to look cool, parry pain, and die 100 times while yelling, I had him. It's the Dark Souls of monkey business. This game will destroy you emotionally, rebuild you with duct tape, then destroy you again. It's like a zombie apocalypse version of The Road, but with more swearing and makeshift shivs. Joel's the grumpy dad we all need, Ellie's the sharp-tongued daughter we all wish we had, and together they walk through fungal hell while we sob uncontrollably. It's perfectly linear, because if you had choices, you'd absolutely mess it up. The pacing is tighter than Joel's emotional range, and when it ends, you'll just sit there, silently, staring at your controller like, how dare you? And yes, the giraffe moment hits every time. This game starts with the dude kicking open doors like he's auditioning for an action movie and escalates into full-blown chaos with a chainsaw-wielding maniac in a burlap sack. Welcome to the Resident Evil 4 remake, where Leon Kennedy has enough sass and roundhouse kicks to fight an entire cult with just his knife and impeccable hair. It's linear, yes, but that path is a glorious, campy, gory roller coaster from start to finish. Also, Ashley. Oh, Ashley, the only person in history who can get kidnapped by gravity. Whether you're dodging boulders or fighting fish the size of boats, it's survival horror with style. Sifu is like John Wick had a baby with Dark Souls, and that baby grew up watching kung fu movies non-stop. You start off young and spry, ready to punch the world, but every time you mess up, you age. That's right, die too much and you're basically throwing hands as someone's grandpa by the end. But oh boy, even grandpa here can land combos smoother than your internet on a good day. It's linear, brutal, and deeply personal, as in personal vendetta. You will rage, you will retry, and you will eventually become the elderly master of destruction you were destined to be. Also, don't ask how the magic necklace works, just go with it. In Detroit Become Human, you get to control 3 androids who are way too emotionally complex for machines built to vacuum your living room. One wants justice, one wants freedom, and one just wants to not get yelled at for spilling paint. Every decision matters here. Say the wrong thing, and boom, your robot revolution becomes a robot funeral. It's linear in style, but with so many branching paths that by the end, you're not sure if you've led a civil rights movement or just gotten everyone killed by being indecisive. Also, props to Connor, the world's most polite android detective with the soul of a Labrador retriever. Ever wanted to experience medieval France during the time of plague, war, and rats? So many rats. A Plague Tale. Innocence is like someone combined The Last of Us with Ratatouille, but instead of cooking, the rats eat you. You play as Amicia, big sister of the year, escorting your tiny brother Hugo through a ratpocalypse using stealth, slingshots, and prayers. The game's linear, but the atmosphere is dense, the story is surprisingly touching, and the rats are basically liquid death that can solve puzzles. Just remember, if you hear squeaking, light a torch or accept your fate as rat sushi.
Come on, just run as fast as you can! There! The wall!
They're coming!
Quick, quick!
Alan Wake 2 is a psychological horror roller coaster where the flashlight is mightier than the sword, and by that I mean it's your only real chance of survival. You're a writer lost in a nightmarish plot of his own making, basically trapped in a horror fan fiction written during a coffee binge. The game flips between timelines, identities, and enough weirdness to make Twin Peaks look like a rom-com. It's linear, sure, but your brain, it'll be doing backflips. Just remember to aim the light and reload often, or you'll be stuck running from shadows like a caffeinated Scooby-Doo. And yes, the coffee thermoses return, praise be. Welcome to Control, where you're the new director of a government agency and your first day includes haunted filing cabinets and telekinetic office furniture battles. It's like if The X-Files was directed by David Lynch after he swallowed a neon sign. Jesse Faden enters the Federal Bureau of Madness, Control, to find her brother and ends up throwing desks at possessed agents while a creepy floating pyramid gives her job reviews. It's linear, but the building literally changes shape, so straightforward is relative. This game is so weird, it makes IKEA look like a logical building layout. Bring a flashlight and a therapist. Dishonored 2 is the only game where you can blink across rooftops, choke a guard, possess a rat, and then hide in a dumpster. All in 10 seconds. You can go in loud, go in sneaky, or accidentally blow yourself up while trying to look cool. Linear mission structure, yes. Chaos, absolutely. You get to choose between Emily, the Empress with ninja flair, or Corvo, the OG silent assassin dad. The powers are wild, the steampunk setting is gothic eye candy, and the guards are somehow both aggressive and deaf. Want to get revenge with style, class, and the ability to teleport into a guy's sandwich? Dishonored 2 says, go nuts!
Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to craft the music boxes at each enclave.
This game is like taking a beautiful, horrifying journey through Norse mythology inside someone's actual brain. You play as Senua, a badass warrior with a sword in hand and 1,000 voices in her head, literally. Wear headphones and you'll be hearing whispers that make you check behind you IRL. It's linear, yes, but it's also a guided trip through grief, psychosis, and monster smashing. The combat? Tight. The puzzles? Weird. The story? Devastating. You'll spend half the game solving illusions and the other half yelling, "Stop talking to me," at your headset. It's therapy by trauma and Norse ghosts. 10 by 10 would sob again. Hi-Fi Rush is what happens when a rhythm game does a backflip into an anime and lands in a Saturday morning cartoon. You're Chai, a human guitar pick with ADHD who gets his iPod fused into his chest and decides to punch robots to the beat of the music, because of course. This game is linear, colorful, loud, and impossibly stylish. Every punch, jump, and dodge syncs with the soundtrack, and if you're offbeat, the game will let you know with the digital equivalent of a disappointed drum solo. It's like if Scott Pilgrim was playable and powered entirely by caffeine and pure vibes.
Pick them out!
There's a level in this game where you time travel mid-combat. That's it. That's the pitch. Titanfall 2 is criminally underrated, and I'm still mad about it. You're a pilot with a giant robot best friend named BT, and together you redefine what it means to be a dynamic duo. It's linear, yes, but it packs more holy crap moments into 6 hours than most games do in 30. Wall running, mech blasting, time jumping insanity, and the dialogue between you and your AI buddy will warm your cold gamer heart. This game slaps, rocks, rolls, wall hops, and then slaps again. Go play it before it becomes a legend whispered in lobbies. game starts like a typical military shooter and ends with you questioning every choice you've ever made, including what flavor of chips you bought last night. Spec Ops. The line tricks you into thinking it's just another bro shooter with sandstorms, then whiplashes into a psychological meltdown with more twists than a soap opera in a blender. It's linear, brutal, and every bullet you fire starts to feel wrong. Like the game's judging you, and it is. By the end, you're not just shooting enemies, you're reflecting on morality, war, and why that loading screen just guilt-tripped you. Genius and trauma in one dusty package.
On the wing!
This is the game that takes the phrase relationship therapy and turns it into a chaotic Pixar fever dream. You and your co-op buddy play as two bickering parents turned into tiny dolls by their kids' tears, because magic and guilt are powerful. It's fully linear, but every single level throws in new mechanics like the devs were legally required to never repeat anything. 1 minute you're riding frogs, the next you're fighting a vacuum cleaner with abandonment issues. Also, there's a talking book that won't shut up and sounds like Antonio Banderas on espresso. It's the funniest, weirdest, most adorable co-op divorce simulator ever made. Enslaved is like The Last of Us if Joel had a six-pack, was played by Andy Serkis, and got electro-leashed by a sassy tech wizard with commitment issues. You play as Monkey, who climbs walls like a Parker Tarzan, punches robots into nuts and bolts, and has the emotional range of a baked potato, until the story hits, and suddenly you're crying over robot dads. The game's linear but feels epic thanks to its apocalyptic world painted with colors that scream, yes, the world ended, but let's be pretty about it. Also, your AI companion is smarter than most real-life teammates, so cherish her. And maybe don't fall for her. Or do. No judgment. This game is not connected to the MCU, but don't worry, it still has all the chaos, heart, and raccoon rage you could want. You play only as Star-Lord, but you command the whole squad, meaning you're basically the space dad with a cassette player and a flamethrower. It's linear, packed with witty banter that never shuts up. Seriously, they talk more than your group chat. And the story somehow manages to punch you in the feelings while you're busy laughing at Drax's misunderstanding metaphors. Also, the soundtrack slaps so hard it should come with a dance floor and glow sticks. 1210 would argue with Rocket again.
This thing refuses to die! I can barely scratch it! Kill it harder! I'm killing it as hard as I can!
Silent Hill 2 Remake. AKA, what if trauma was a foggy town and everyone in it wanted to murder you with symbolism? You play James, the guy who receives a letter from his dead wife telling him to come visit her in a place where nightmares are legally allowed to walk around shirtless with big knives. It's linear, psychological, and deeply uncomfortable in all the right horror ways. Also, the remake looks too good, like, oh no, I can now see Pyramid Head's abs and I'm concerned levels of good. It's not just scary, it's emotionally devastating. Come for the chills, stay for the existential dread. Lara Croft returns, more serious than ever and still allergic to jackets despite being surrounded by snow. This linear action adventure throws you into icy cliffs, ancient tombs, and enemy compounds like the developers said, let's make her suffer, but stylishly. You'll climb everything that even vaguely resembles a ledge, solve puzzles left by people who clearly had too much time, and take on entire armies like a one-woman Avengers squad. Also, Lara journals so much she might qualify as a Tumblr account. It's epic, intense, and features enough bow action to make Hawkeye insecure. Nathan Drake is back for one last treasure hunt, and this time he's older, wiser, and has the strongest climbing fingers in human history. This game is like Indiana Jones met Fast and Furious, but with way more historical guilt. It's linear, yes, but the set pieces, literal Hollywood explosions in playable form. There's a car chase that feels like you're in a Michael Bay movie, a grappling hook that defies physics, and a brother who shows up after years of silence like, hey, wanna rob a centuries-old pirate city? The banter is top tier, the action never stops, and by the end, you'll miss Drake like he was your childhood friend who always got you into trouble. And there you have it. 20 linear games so good, they make open world games look like confused toddlers with too many side quests. If you haven't played these yet, what are you doing? Living, touching grass, disgusting. Hit that like button, subscribe for more gaming chaos, and remember, life's short, but linear games, they hit different. Peace out.